Hi everyone! Welcome back to Health Angel Solutions. Today, we're going to talk about 5 supplements that you may be taking. If you are taking these, there's a chance that they could be negatively affecting your thyroid function or damaging your thyroid gland. Since many of you take over-the-counter supplements, we are obviously concerned about these issues. We're going to level the playing field here and discuss these supplements and how they might be influencing your thyroid gland, because you might not be aware of the secondary adverse effects that some of them have and how they're affecting other organs or other tissues in your body. If you don't already know, I'm a specialist in helping people with thyroid issues, helping people with hormone imbalances, and of course, helping people lose weight. So let's get started on our topic today, which was supplements that hurt or damaged your thyroid. However, I want to clarify that what I mean by hurting is actually how these nutrients can impact your thyroid function. So I want you to consider other factors besides just the thyroid gland itself. Once I go into these topics, it will all make more sense. The first nutrient is iron, which is crucial for many patients with hypothyroidism or low thyroid function. This is because low thyroid function is often accompanied by low thyroid function, which makes sense as your thyroid function declines. So what do these patients do? Well, they take iron, since iron is necessary to support thyroid function, which makes sense. So where's the issue here? While iron does not directly harm or negatively affect the thyroid gland, it can affect the thyroid hormone. This is particularly true if you're taking something called T4, which is the basis for practically all thyroid medications with the exception of Synthroid, levothyroxine, and sustained-release T3. Medication like this has a T4 component, and iron works by binding to it. This is a little binding symbol here, and it binds to the T4 molecule in your thyroid medication, rendering it inactive and preventing your body from absorbing it. This means that even if you swallow your thyroid medication, even if you're taking the prescribed amount, it's not getting into your bloodstream. Since iron is the source of this issue and it's not passing through your intestinal tract, does this mean you should stop taking iron and never take it again? No, but it does mean you need to take iron correctly. If you are already taking iron, which you should if your levels are low, you should be doing so because iron will positively impact your thyroid as long as you take it correctly, which includes waiting 4 hours after taking your thyroid medication before taking your iron, because iron will bind to and inactivate that medication. The same is true for calcium, which performs the same function as iron. These two individuals are likely the worst offenders, so if you talk to a pharmacist or doctor, they'll usually advise you to take no supplements and not take anything by mouth for at least 4 hours. The reason they give you this broad time frame is because of these two individuals. Remember, it doesn't negatively impact the thyroid gland, but it does negatively impact any fibroid medication that you might be taking. So be very cautious about that. Calcium and iron. The other nutrients and supplements may have an effect, but not nearly as much as these guys because they bind to it in the same way that calcium does, which is to bind to the T4 subunit or just the T4 thyroid hormone and prevent your body from absorbing it. There exists certain additional aspects of calcium that we will not discuss here, such as the potential benefits of supplementation for other body parts, the presence of bone loss, and other irrelevant topics. Interaction number 3 is biotin. Biotin is pretty interesting. It's one of the nutrients that has been shown to be helpful in allowing hair to grow back and stimulating the hair follicle. So on so many thyroid patients, you'll recognize hair loss as a big symptom of hypothyroidism. However, I would be cautious when using calcium or iron, especially if you have any thyroid disease and you're taking thyroid medication. If you're not taking thyroid medication, that's obviously less important, and you should be able to get your iron up. Specifically, calcium is another story. Thus, these patients begin taking supplements in an attempt to regrow hair. However, taking biotin does not always cure hair loss, especially if thyroid disease is the underlying cause. Secondly, taking biotin affects thyroid function tests, not your thyroid function itself. To be clear, I want to say that biotin affects your lab results. You may wonder if this means that it affects your thyroid function, but the answer is no, because it only affects the test and has nothing to do with your body's thyroid function or thyroid levels. However, it causes the lab test to be inaccurate. In fact, it's really bad because it gives the impression that you have more thyroid hormone in your body than you actually do. What does that mean to your doctor? Your doctor believes that you aren't over-medicating, even though the majority of people reading this are under-medicated, which is why you have symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, and hair loss. You take biotin and other nutrients to try to solve the issue, but what it actually does is make it appear as though you were taking too much, which will lead your doctor to reduce your thyroid medication for. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video. It's kind of hard to read, but whatever you're taking that will make your hair loss worse and make you take more supplements, you can kind of see how this cycle will continue. The key here is not that you need to stop taking biotin altogether. Rather, what I want you to take away from this is that you just need to avoid it for 2 to 3 days before your labs are tested. Once it leaves your system before your labs are drawn, it won't have a negative effect on your results. So that's number 3. Number 4, biotin. Keep in mind that it affects thyroid function but not a gland. Rather, it influences the thyroid lab tests itself, giving the impression that it affects steroid function. The 4th topic is iodine, which is a topic I'll discuss with you and explain a little bit. Iodine is confusing, especially for thyroid patients. Some have been told to avoid it completely, while others think it causes Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Still others think it can naturally treat thyroid issues. The truth, as usual, is actually somewhere in the middle. However, iodine can be harmful, which is why it's included here and not any of the other 3 that we discussed. Iodine can damage your thyroid gland, but it doesn't always do so, and usually only does so when taken in the incorrect dosage. So dosage is crucial when discussing iodine use. It definitely can be hazardous if your dose is too high. Many people appear to really gravitate for these high doses. And if your dose is too high, and you also have a selenium deficiency. So, iodine is not always a bad and damaging nutrient to your thyroid because it can hurt your thyroid gland. You'll always find people watching these videos who have taken massive doses of iodine. If you fit in this category, please leave a comment below. Selenium rock is a very important nutrient, and I talked about it too much. However, what I want to tell you is that if you have low selenium and you start taking high doses of iodine, it can actually cause thyroid inflammation, which can trigger thyroid autoimmunity. We're talking about 25 to 50 milligrams per day. If you fall into that category and have taken this high dose and have caused thyroid problems, perhaps from reading something or using a trick, leave a comment below as a kind of warning to others who may think it's okay. I've always had people argue with me that using these high doses will solve their problems. And I say that while it may help some of you, the risk is not worth the benefit. So bear that in mind. Iodine low doses are absolutely necessary. I'm required, but high doses are not. If you've taken any of my supplements, you don't need to worry about this because I do use them correctly. The iodine also contains nutrients like selenium, so if you're taking any other supplements, you should be cautious at the very least to look into this and look at the dose. The next supplement is thyroid glandular, and I've actually been very critical of these glandular things. Thyroid glandulars have the potential to be quite beneficial, but they can also be quite harmful. However, they are usually only harmful if they contain thyroid hormones. So this will make more sense once I explain what a thyroid glandular is. Basically, a thyroid glandular is an animal's thyroid gland that has been chopped up, dried, desiccated, and then encapsulated before being taken as a supplement. I'm actually coming around to them and using them more and more, and I'm actually seeing really good results, so I probably will change my mind and release a video about that in the future. As a result, you can see that there may be a lot of benefits there. That sounds a lot like natural desiccated thyroid, which is essentially how we get NDT, a thyroid medication. The problem with glandular is that it's not supposed to contain any thyroid hormones. But many people, many supplement manufacturers, in fact, who use thyroid glandular healers may not adhere to these safe guidelines, so the amounts of thyroid hormone in their products are unchecked, unregulated, and unverifiable. Therefore, you could take a dose that contains, say, 5 micrograms. The next day, you might take a dose that contains 20. The point is, though, that you're getting erratic amounts of the real thyroid hormone, which will negatively impact your ability to test what's happening and your lab results. It might have a detrimental effect on your pharmaceutical regimen by making you take more thyroid medication than necessary, which can lead to a variety of issues. These are 5 supplements, and believe it or not, only about half of them are ones I wanted to discuss. So, if you can use glandular without the hormones, and you can verify that is the case, which is usually the case if your protein's purchasing these supplements within the United States, then that's generally okay provided there are some other qualifiers there that we won't get into today. However, if you're getting it from overseas or something like that, you should be very cautious because this could be harmful. For the reasons I just mentioned, I want to hear from you if you've taken any of these supplements. This board may seem disorganized at the moment because we've marked everything up. But if you've taken any of these supplements in the past and something went wrong, please share your story in the comments section below so that you can help others understand that these things might have an impact on their thyroid health. I'll probably do a part 2 on the other supplements that you should be aware of if you have thyroid disease. In conclusion, while supplements can be beneficial for overall health, it's crucial to be cautious and informed about those that might negatively impact your thyroid function. A healthcare provider should always be consulted before adding additional supplements to your regimen. If you found this information helpful, please give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Health Angel Solutions for more valuable health insights. Stay informed and stay healthy.